Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the year again. The International 3 is happening in a little bit over a week's time. And I'm super excited because it's $2.6 million in terms of prize pool and often held as the esports Super Bowl because it's high-ass prize pool, right? I'm super excited to watch it. I'm super excited to be casted and to be part of it. Now, for those of you guys that are frequent viewers of this particular channel, you will know how to watch these matches. You guys could know you could watch on Twitch TV, you could watch it on your in-game Dota 2 client. But for those of you guys that are coming over from the StarCraft scene, or League of Legends scene, or Han, or whichever other esport, or heck, not even esport fan, but you just want to watch TI because it is such a big deal, I got you covered. It's a little bit confusing at first, but there's many ways that you can watch the TI, and here's a couple of them. But before I actually get into that, I want to tell you a little bit about the group stage, because it's a tournament that lasts over a week, and maybe you want to plan out. I know a lot of you guys are working or in school and maybe you can't catch all of the matches. Valve has tried their best to put the quote-unquote the best matches over the weekend so you could see them. So on August 3rd to August 5th, that's the group stage. It's not exactly high in production value or as high as the main event, but you're going to see great matches. There's going to be 3 pairs of English casters. There's going to be Toby and Wagamama. There's going to be AC and Drasco, and of course myself with LD will be casting as well. And that's the group stage. And again, that's just, you know, your kind of your regular broadcast and whatnot. And then come August 7th to 11th at Benaroya Hall, home of the Seattle Symphony, that's going to be the main shebang. Now, if you guys could go to Seattle and watch it, that's great. If not, and for the, I guess for most of the viewers out there, we're watching at home. And that's okay too. There's a lot of different ways you could watch it. And here's a couple of how. First of all, I would fully recommend you download the in-game Dota 2 client. Now, Dota 2 is already available. You could go to Dota2.com, and then on like the right side, you'll be like, hey, download Dota 2 here. It's free to download. Now, there's one thing you got to be very careful about. There is a long queue for people that want to watch it or want to download the game. So you have to wait on the queue and then download it. Now, for a different region, there is a different line of queue. I know that for North America, it's pretty short of a queue versus over, for example, Europe. There's a long queue there. So tournaments happening in about 8-9 days or so. So you have a lot of time to get into that queue and hopefully have the client download it before the main event happens. You don't want to spam download the queue once the tournament happens, because I know it's going to be very full. And the reason that you want to watch it in Dota TV, because you have full camera control. Basically, you have every control, right? You can select your broadcasters, whether you want to watch in Chinese, English, or Russian, or whatever other language. You could control your own camera, or you could follow whichever commentator's camera. You could turn on their voice, you could turn off their voice, and you could select player's perspective. Hey, I want to see what this particular player is doing. I could do that. Or you just want to have the computer direct the camera for you. There's just so much options in terms of what you want to do. There's live stats update in terms of goal graph, experience graph. Everything is right there, and I do recommend you to at least have it downloaded. Even if you don't plan to particularly use the client too much, I still recommend you to have it downloaded. Also, if you're a Mac or Linux user, Valve's got you covered as well. The Mac and Linux version just came out, so there are a little bit of bugs, but they are improving those versions as we speak. And by TI3, the actual tournament happening should be mostly bug-free. Personally, I prefer watching in client the most. You get the commentators, you get to control your own camera, and you get to see what every player is doing. So that's where I'm for. But I know a majority of you guys prefer watching over Twitch TV, which is the second way. Now, Twitch TV, what that gives you over the Dota TV option is for production coverage. That means you're going to see the analyst desk. I know my friend Bruno, as well as James, as well as Milk and Gods, is going to be doing a great job analyzing and telling jokes for you guys in between matches. There's going to be interviews. And the coolest of all, I think, the benefit of watching at Twitch TV is the fact that you have multiple camera shots. So you have camera shots panning over the actual live crowd. More importantly, you have camera shots of each players or each team within their booth. So those of you guys that perhaps have seen the play for last year, or if you haven't seen it, I recommend you YouTube search the play TI2. You saw Navi screaming, you saw the entire crowd. It just gives you so much more of the live experience if you have all these camera shots of everything watching alongside. Now, for those of you guys saying, I only got one monitor, I can't watch 4 screens at once, I can't watch 4 camera shots at once. There are programs, there are websites out there that let you watch multiple Twitch TV streams on the same monitor. If you have dual, triple, quad monitor, then, you know, good for you. But if you don't, For example, a website called Multi-Twitch allows you to watch or customize how many screens you want to watch, and that is a good option. I'm pretty sure there's other websites, other programs out there, but that's personally the one I recommend. Also on Dota2.com, there's going to be alternate streams available. I don't exactly know what these alternate streams are. I know there's one called High Winds. Imagine that there's going to be a ton of viewers watching, so you might actually experience some lag issues depending on the region that you're from and depending on your internet connection. So that might be an issue. But Twitch TV gives you full production. Again, casters, analysts, as well as interviews, as well as camera shots and all that stuff. So I fully recommend you to have both Dota TV downloaded as well as Twitch TV available, because sometimes Twitch lags and you can go on Dota TV. Sometimes you don't see the interviews and whatnot on Dota TV, so you could use Twitch. So, you know, having both available is always a good thing. You might stick to one over another. Way number 3 is if you can't catch all the matches live, and that's very understandably so because you have work, you have school, there's always YouTube. Now, I know that Valve is going to be updating periodically, and when I say periodically, I mean like throughout the day, and upload all of the matches. So basically, it is the exact same thing for the Dota TV version, minus the fact that you can have full control. So they're going to upload a separate VOD for each broadcaster. So there's going to be English broadcaster, Russians, as well as... Am I missing? Chinese. Yeah, so there's going to be particular VODs up on YouTube that you could watch it as well. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure that Valve is also going to be uploading some extra content. So hopefully they could catch most of the player interviews. They could catch, you know, some of the analyst broadcasts and whatever else. And all of it is going to be up on YouTube as well. So that's going to be for you if you can't watch kind of every day or every moment and whatnot. And the last way for you to watch it, and personally this is probably the most exciting one. I like my Dota TV because I get to control all my camera and all that stuff. That's really a good method for you to watch at home. But to really get the semi-live experience, you want to actually check out whether there's a pub stomp near where you live. Pub stomp is basically an entire bar or entire pub full of Dota fans and watching it live and having a good beer and whatnot. So obviously, if you're in a bar, you gotta be of drinking age, and that differs, you know, based on what you are or where you are. And there is a full list of pub stomps that are available all over the world, and I'll include a link in the description below. But basically, I know there's about 20 in the US that you could go to. And if there isn't one next to you or near you, you could actually organize one yourself and then submit to Dota2 so that other Dota fans such yourself could come. So I know that there isn't one in Korea. I know that there isn't one in China, which is very surprising because both these regions are big on Dota2 right now. So maybe you could organize one for those regions. So the cool thing about watching one live is the fact that you turn to the guy next to you or girl next to you, and they love Dota 2. You turn to the guy next to you or the girl next to you, and they love Dota 2 as well. It's basically very close to watching at the Benaroya Hall, just having Dota fans, you know, surrounded with you, and you can talk about the game, you talk about what you played last week on your pub matches. It is a great time. And one thing I did not mention throughout all of this is if you're watching Dota TV, if you're watching Twitch TV, or if you watch in a pub stomp event, all of these events are eligible for item drops. So for those of you guys that don't play Dota 2 much or at all, if you play Dota 2, at the end of the game, you have a possibility of dropping an item. These items are cosmetic in terms of letting your hero look better. And if you watch professional matches, they also drop kind of cosmetic items to help your heroes look a bit better. So all of these items are available to drop on Twitch TV, on Dota TV client, and more importantly on the pub stomp. So you could be live at the pub stomps and still get your value of item. Now the one last thing I want to give a huge plug to is the interactive compendium, which is an in-game item that you can buy for $9.99. Now I'm not here to kind of sell for or plug for Valve. It's an item that I personally think it's completely worth the $9.99 value. I personally like the compendium for all the freebie it gives you, all the couriers, immortal items, but let's not talk about that. I want to talk about pertaining to the International. There are categories in a fantasy league for the tournament. So you could select your own fantasy team, which I'll show you guys on screen. I like my Dandy as solo because I think he's really good. And of course, you could protect in different categories, and you get a certain amount of points for having all these categories being guessed correctly, you get to win some prizes towards the end. But the coolest thing is to have your fantasy team, particularly because you could track your team and how well they're doing in between each and every match. In fact, within the actual client, there is the Dota TV client, you could actually see how they're doing right then and there in the actual game in terms of fantasy points. And for those of you guys that are big into NBA fantasy or football fantasy, that's for you. Trust me, that will get you watching every single day, making sure your player is doing well. You can swap in and out the players and in between days and whatnot. And it's actually really important that I kind of give this plug right now, because the compendiums, they're available for sale all the time, but to select your fantasy team, I think you have like maybe 5 days, or was it 3 days left? You have only a limited amount of time to select your own fantasy team. So for those of you guys that don't have a compendium and would like to get a compendium, do it soon. And for those of you guys that do have a compendium, please update your fantasy team, because you know it's closing soon. Did I mention that every compendium that you buy, $2.50 of that, whatever you spend, goes back into the TI3 prize pool? That's why we got to the $2.6 million pool. It started at $1.6 million and now it's 2.6 because people are buying these compendiums. So I'm personally a big fan of this particular item. Not only all of that, so you get the items, you get all of the couriers, and now you get to your own fantasy, you get to make predictions. You also get to vote for player for the 1v1 matchup, the 1v1 tournament that's going within TI3. You also get to vote for your all-star matchup, the East versus West. I voted for those as well, and I think you really should as well. So that's just a lot of different values, and really recommend you get the compendium. Okay, all of that aside, I know I talk about a lot too much. You're asking yourself, Lumi, what if I'm actually at Seattle? What if I actually got a ticket, I got the airfare, I got the hotels, everybody is having a fun time watching at home. What do I get to see at Seattle? Well, I don't want to take Valve's thunder away, you know, it's their tournament, and they're going to be updating a lot of cool stuff. I think tomorrow. Don't quote me on that. They said tomorrow. Maybe it's on the Valve time tomorrow. But just keep your eye out on Dota2.com. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff that's going to be happening. I'm going to share a couple of you guys just from my personal experience of being at TI2 last year. First of all, bring cash or bring money, because there is going to be Dota2 store. Last year, I think if you spent over $40, they gave you these like booster packs that had like cards inside, and one of the cards was the Dota2 Courier. And yeah, the Dota2 Courier right now from TI2 last year is now worth about $200 in Steam. And if you could do the math, $40 in about a year time becomes $200. That's not counting whatever the stuff that you already bought. So I really recommend you to at least browse in the Dota2 store, the live Dota2 store, not the one on Steam. If you don't have anything to buy it for your friends, because I know they don't ship it to a lot of the countries in Asia, and I'm not sure whether they ship to Europe. So if you guys have friends there that can't go because they don't have visa or their fare or whatever else, buy it for them, because you know they won't have the chance to actually get it shipped. Also, I know for a fact that there is going to be like live fantasy updated at the hallway. So there's going to be big monitors to show you who's currently leading in terms of the fantasy league. That's going to add another level of excitement, because I have my team. They're called Easy Rares, and they're about to win some rares for me, because I think my team is boss, and hopefully I'll be on the top of that fantasy chart. Also, there's no official announcement yet, but according to Cyborg Man's blog, there is a thing called the Autograph, which has no relation to Dota 2 whatsoever, unless you put it into perspective of TI3. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be autograph sessions at TI3. So if you want to get your mousepad signed, if you want to have your items signed, however that works, and if you're at Seattle, well, that's one way to do it. Also, if you plan to have your mousepads or gears or posters signed, don't forget to bring Sharpies, because people that are walking around, and there's professional players, casters, personalities just walking around the hall, kind of like no matter where you turn, there's going to be someone. Have your Sharpies available, have multiple Sharpies in case you lose them, because it's never good to go up to Dendy's like, oh my god, I need to get your signature, but I don't have a pen. So just come prepared, right? So bring cash, bring Sharpies, and have a lot of fun. That's what TI3 is all about. So I think this video has been going on for quite a bit longer than I really want it to be. So quick summary, if you're watching home, Dota TV, have it downloaded, wait in the queue if you don't have it yet. Twitch TV is your way to go. YouTube, if for those of you guys that can't watch every day, and of course Pop Stomps. Look it up. If you don't have one near you, think about organizing one for yourself and for your friends. Really, really good experience. And if you're going to Seattle, come say hi. Hope to see you guys there. I'm gonna be very, very excited. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. And until next time, this is Luminous signing off. To you guys.
Wraparound gank is going to be the name of the game for IG. Who leads the way? I believe it should be Zoe. They're going to cut for the shorter path. They storm up the river. Patience from Zoe. Waiting in the wings. Navi is about to be caught. Oh, there's the sleep. The surge. He catches everyone. Oh, this could be a total disaster. Vacuum in. Ravage on everyone. The black hole as well. Light of heaven turns it around. Ravage as well. Stolen by Denny. Are you kidding me? They turn it around. 4 heroes dead for
5
IG.
heroes dead. Chuan trying to survive. Chuan's gonna go down. Puppy talked about the Naga counter. It's Light of Heaven with his BKB. They turn it around.